Again, my name's Melanie Potock. I am a feeding specialist in the Colorado area, and I work with children who have difficulty eating. Either they're children with medical needs or they're kids who are picky eaters, whatever it happens to be. The one thing I can tell you is it is really stressful for parents. Oh my goodness. I always say that the hardest thing about working with these families is helping the parents feel okay about their child's nutritional health. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is how to help families who have kids with picky eating habits or feeding challenges, even a feeding disorder, get a few extra calories in each day so that everybody can rest assured that as we move through the process of becoming adventurous eaters, we're still maintaining nutritional health, we've got a good steady growth curve, and we're beginning to explore new opportunities for good nutrition. So let's talk about that. 5 easy ways to boost nutritious calories for your picky eaters. Now, why did I say nutritious? Because so often I go to a family's home and a well-meaning health professional has told them, you know what, every time that kid opens her mouth, just put something in it. Or they might say, just let her have all the ice cream she wants. I don't care what she wants to eat. Get some calories into her. While I understand that type of thinking, it really doesn't help us in terms of brain growth and bones and body organs and health. Calories are not the same as nutrition. So let's talk about how to get nutritious calories for your picky eater. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about before I start showing you some foods to try, I want you to make sure that your kids get on a good, steady hunger schedule. And by that I mean making sure that they are served breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, and maybe a bedtime snack about 2 to 2.5 hours apart. When kids graze throughout the day, they have a tendency not to take in so many calories. And that's where this idea of just every time she opens her mouth, let her have something to eat. Kids won't get as many calories in throughout the day because they're just nibbling. We want kids to come to the mealtime table hungry so that they really work on filling their bellies, and so that you have more of an opportunity to add some of these calorie boosters that we're going to talk about now. So that first step is remember to get them on a hunger schedule. And if you have any questions about that, we outline that in my book, Raising a Healthy Happy Eater, written with pediatrician Dr. Namali Fernando. Let's talk about ways to boost these kids' calories a little bit without putting a lot of volume into them. One of my favorite things to do, it sounds so simple, hang in there with me for a second. You know what this is? That is a tablespoon of peanut butter. Now you could use a different type of nut butter or seed butter if the child happens to have allergies. What we don't want to do is get the kids in the habit of just taking a big old scoop and putting it in their mouth, because the big blob like that can be chokeable. But you know what? Look at that. That's not that much. You know what that is? That's 100 nutritious calories. So the families that I work with, I ask them to literally take a tablespoon of peanut butter, put it in a little dish like this, and throughout the day, just take a smidge of it and stir it into oatmeal or a thin layer, maybe on a waffle or toast in a smoothie. You can mix it into anything. You know, so often kids love Nutella on toast, and Nutella is pretty high in sugar. Actually, it's very high in sugar. So I like parents to gradually work up to a chocolate peanut butter. So gradually adding a little bit of this in. Now, if you wanted, you could also use this tablespoon, this 100 calories, and at the end of every meal, just use one of these little ice cream spoons. You know, you get these at the gelato shops, or you can order them off Amazon too. They're really inexpensive. We call them tasting spoons. And you certainly could give any child a smidge like that. That's not enough to choke on. And just hand it to them and let them lick it off. You can do that 4 times a day. and you just got 100 calories in. Or just place it like this on their plate. You could even give them 2 or 3, and that's a great way to boost their calories. And kids love it. You can add a little honey in there if you wanted to, as long as they're over the age of 1. Okay, let's talk about another way to get in some calories, probably one of my favorites, avocado. Avocados, you know what? A half of an avocado is 125 calories. This isn't even that big of an avocado. And if you go to Trader Joe's right now, they have tiny avocados, really inexpensive, and they're the perfect size to slice in half and work on throughout the day to add to kids' food. Now, you can definitely smash it up and spread it, add it into smoothies, add it into foods, etc. But a lot of kids will eat chunks of avocado, especially if you chop it into cubes, put it in a Ziploc bag, and shake it with some yummy cracker crumbs. It'll give the avocado a little bit of texture on the outside so the kids can pick it up easily. Another thing about avocado is the perfect food that goes with avocados is chocolate. Well, even tonight, we might as well start talking about dessert, right? Even tonight, and I'll post this recipe in the comments for you. I made brownies for my husband and I, and a dozen brownies with the recipe that I'll post has 2 whole avocados in it, plus 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. So let's talk about avocado oil, another really good calorie booster. Excuse me. I just get mine at Costco. It's very inexpensive. It lasts forever. And you can use avocado oil with higher heat, which is one of the reasons I love to roast my vegetables in it. It's a very neutral taste for our picky eaters. And you can add it to most anything. Now, if you wanted to add an oil like this that's already liquid to any sort of smoothie or mix it in a tiny bit into puree, etc., just take a little tiny plastic cup. I get these, you know, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I take them from Wendy's, the fast food restaurant. These are their ketchup cups, and they're a tablespoon each. Just fill it up with your favorite oil, and don't put it in the sunlight. You know, you don't want it to go rancid, but throughout the day, just add a tiny bit to anything, even on top of the kiddo's toast. And by the end of the day, you got an extra 100 calories in, and really you cannot taste it. Another very good oil that I love to use is it's hard for me to turn to the camera. There we go. Is a refined coconut oil. This one's just organic from Trader Joe's or Target. And if you want less coconutty taste, then you get the refined. If you don't mind that coconutty taste, you don't have to have the refined. What I do is I melt, again, in a microwave safe container, about a tablespoon, just melt it, and you can pour it into cold liquids like chocolate milk and just use a little whisk and whisk it up. It'll disappear. It doesn't remain solid. You can actually add this right into a cold drink. Now, it's super yummy in hot chocolate too. But my favorite way to use coconut oil and boost kids' calories is by using, hopefully you guys can see this with the light. This is the Kids Protein Shake by Orgain, and I'm going to put the link in the comments for you. But if you go to Orgain.com and you're a health professional, you can get free samples to use with your clients. Parents, you can often get coupons on Orgain.com to try this for yourself. And what I do is I'll use I call it monkey milk because it's got a monkey on it, but I'll use the chocolate flavor. It seems to be the most popular with my kids. They have vanilla and strawberry too. And make a little bit of melted coconut oil. And then I just grab some of those tiny syringes, you know, no needle on it. You just go to the drugstore and they'll give them to you. And I just squirt up a little bit of coconut oil. I squirt it right into this little circle. Give it a good shake, and now I've got an extra 60 calories in that milk for my kids. Another way that I use this is to dilute other foods. You could definitely use whole cream or definitely full fat milk if you wanted. But I prefer something like this because it has the added nutrition that they've specifically put in this milk for children. And I like the fact that it's a tiny bit sweeter to hide some of the other tastes that I may be introducing the child to. So a perfect combination is this Orgain milk with half of an avocado, maybe not the whole container, but you could definitely do that and whip it right in. Or, let me show you this. This is my new go-to. This is Ciggies triple cream yogurt. You get this at any grocery store, and they have all different flavors, but I love the chocolate one. Hang on, you're never gonna believe the amazing amount of nutrition that's in this. What they've done is they've taken whole milk plus added in a little bit of cream, so it's super yummy. It's almost like a pudding. And it has 10 grams of fat, but it also has lots of calcium, a little bit of iron, and some protein in there too. But it's so small. This particular container has 170 calories. Gosh, if you just took a spoonful of this out, added it to various foods throughout the day, even oatmeal, chocolate oatmeal, kids love that. This is a great way to get in some extra calories. So if you take half of this, half of an avocado, and maybe throw in a banana too. Banana's a great source of calories. And let's maybe dilute it with a little bit of the protein shake. That's a fabulous smoothie. Or freeze it into popsicles for kids. Give them a little tiny popsicle throughout, once a day. And again, you've got an extra 100 calories in, no problem. Let's talk about some other calorie boosters that I love to use, and then we'll take some questions. I think probably my favorite, absolutely, and I really enjoyed these too. This is 1 tablespoon of hemp seeds. Now, hemp seeds come in these big old packages at Costco, but if you want to just get a sample, most of the time you can get these for 99 cents at the checkout aisle of most grocery stores. Just watch for those little sample packs and give them a try that way. A hemp seed looks very, very similar to a sesame seed. Really similar. It's about the same size. It's got kind of a nutty flavor. But if you don't think your kids can tolerate a seed very well, just grind them up in a spice grinder or even a coffee grinder, and now you've got hemp powder. And you can mix that into anything. The kids will never taste it. Even my kids with really significant sensory processing difficulties, if I grind up hemp seeds and I had a tiny bit at a time, I've never had a kid notice that. And by the end of the day, that's an extra 50 to 70 calories, but also a lot of protein, a lot of omega-3s, and lots of magnesium. And I love hemp seeds for my kids who have trouble, frankly, pooping. That extra magnesium helps helps them have those regular bowel movements. So definitely my favorite of all time. Let me show you something else. It's really, really, really similar. These are chia seeds, and I know it looks like a lot, but that's because I've soaked them. They're actually almost like a pudding right now. See how that is? I've got them soaking in water. So in the morning, what I want my families to do is take 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, dump it into a container, cover it with water, and about 20 minutes later, you'll have this kind of chia pudding. Now, once again, just like peanut butter, you don't want the kids to scoop these up and put them right in their mouth. They're not very tasty anyway, but they form a glob, and they could be chokeable in that way. Also, if you do have children who are being tube fed, you cannot put these through a tube. Now, you can grind them if you want, but I personally like chia seeds when they're soaked because they form a little tapioca ball, and you can stir them into a lot of other foods, and because of that gel coating that's created, kids are not as likely to protest that extra sensory experience. I'm not a big one for hiding things in kids' foods. I like them to be a part of stirring them in. But this gel coating I was telling you about really helps to provide that smooth texture. So you know what, another idea, take some chia seeds, mix them into a yummy Ciggies like this, like a triple cream. you've got a great calorie booster. Pour it into a popsicle mold, freeze it, and you've got some great popsicles. You know what else I would do? I'd add some mini chocolate chips, because mini chocolate chips mixed in with this, you'll never even notice the tiny bump of this chia seed. So give them something a little bit chunkier, like a chocolate chip, and they won't notice the teeny tiny grain of chia in there as well. I think we may have covered everything. I have to stop and think for a second. Yeah. Oh, wait. Forgot to tell you one thing. You're never going to guess what this is. This is almond flour. Almond flour is much higher in calories than regular wheat flour that we so often use in our baked goods. So consider looking up some almond flour recipes. In my new book, Adventures in Veggie Land, because I'm gluten-free, I use almond flour a lot. And a lot of the baked goods that I have in here that involve vegetables, of course, because it's a book all about teaching kids how to eat vegetables, use almond flour or coconut flour. Coconut flour is also a little bit higher in calories. And you know, honest to goodness, if you wanted to, you could just put a tablespoon of almond flour on your countertop and sprinkle a little bit of this into anything throughout the day. It mixes right in, it dissolves, and you've got an extra 100 calories in throughout the day, and you can sleep a little bit easier. Finally, before we start taking some questions, is I wanted to share with you another way to use avocado and chocolate. In my book, Adventures in Veggie Land, if you turn to the spinach chapter, you'll see that there's a way to make chocolate pudding. Oh, I'm sorry, this side chocolate pudding with spinach and avocado and dates, and it's the creamiest, yummiest pudding you've ever had. And you can also freeze that as well. But then you might consider making a big batch of it, and why not take a scoop of it and add it to another food? Why not add it to the Nutella or the peanut butter and just mix things up a tiny bit for your kiddo? You know, when kids are learning to try new foods, it's all about just giving them these tiny taste experiences. If they happen to say they don't like it, that's okay. Keep offering it. That's how we learn to like new foods. Let's see. I remember, I'm going to go back through after this. I'm going to put some of the information we just talked about in the comments for you. So remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember to send me pictures of your kids if they're using Adventures in Veggie Land. Tomorrow I'm going to post a slideshow of the ones I've gotten so far. It's been so fun to get those. And don't forget to join the Facebook group called Adventures in Veggie Land. Fabulous ideas being posted there. And I post once a day, but gosh, we get 3 or 4 posts a day from people all over the United States. And we'd love to have you join that group as well. All righty then. I think that's it for Mondays with Coach Mel. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Bye-bye.